how does your app improve on a traditional birding guide?
It does something that no traditional birding guide can do. We're sucking in data from a crowdsourced database that gets about 1.5 million records a month. It's housed at Cornell University, at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. They're our partner in this. It's sucked into there, and we've found a way to get that information, those observations of where birds have been seen recently, yesterday, today, 2 weeks ago, where they've been seen around you. And so you see the map, there's a dot on the map where the bird has been seen, you hit it, and we give you directions. And no field guide, no traditional book can do that.
Right, that would be...
Most of the birding apps that are out there are variations on traditional books. What we've done is we've gone beyond books, and frankly, our users really, really like it.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask anyways. Would you ever consider going from the app that you have backwards to a traditional reference book?
No, it'd be impossible. It would have to be. It's impossible to imagine how we could do that.
Right. So switching gears a little bit, because you have been thinking about it in terms of what works best for the app as opposed to how do I just port reference material into an app. What recommendations would you give to other publishers who are thinking about creating reference apps? What mindset should they bring to it?
I have to approach that from the perspective that we brought to it, because I'm not a publisher. That's not my line of work.
Right.
We did this to deliver something to birders that they had never had access to before. And so, but from that perspective, I'd say figure out not just how to take what you have in a book and put it on an app, but what is special about that content that warrants, that deserves being in an app, and then highlight your features in a way that really focus on that.
Okay.
We learned in doing this that we had lots of ideas. We could have stuffed that box full of 100 features, but we learned in doing it that we cut out most of the features to focus on the core essence of the app. And I think that's one of the reasons why our users like it so much. It's very intuitive. It doesn't have a user's manual because you don't need it.
Sure.
What it does is it does one thing extremely well.
So last question I have for you. What's the biggest issue that you've run into with the app? Is it discovery?
In terms of?
In terms of people becoming aware of it or adoption patterns, that type of thing.
We don't have a big promotion budget. We have been fortunate to get free media. O'Reilly's covered us. Thank you.
Sure.
We were New York Times App of the Week. And whenever we get into the news, we see spikes. And gradually, we're using social media to try and promote it, et cetera. But it's the simple act of discovering it is a challenge because the App Store is so full of choices.
Well, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.